Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Emily Harless if you guys are new here, and I go to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana. I'm currently going to be a junior this upcoming school year, so I'm very excited. But I'm also really excited this year because this is my first full official year as a member of Alpha Chi Omega here at Ball State. So I wanted to give you guys some tips on recruitment. I know recruitment is coming up for a lot of people pretty quickly, and a lot of it's not gonna look as it normally does. A lot of it's going to be virtual this year, and while it may be virtual, generally the tips are still the same, because while we may not, be in person, it's still generally gonna act as the same sort of process. You're still gonna have some of the same sort of conversations and things like that. So I just wanted to give you guys some tips on not only how to not be nervous and make yourselves feel better with it being virtual recruitment, but also, ideas of things to talk about, what to wear, and things that generally girls and sororities look for when you're going through the recruitment process. So the structure of Ball State sorority recruitment goes as such. The first round is our welcome round. Typically, when we had it in person in the past, it was split open into 2 different days. You'd go into the room for, I think it was 20 minutes. You talk about pretty general things. The second day is actually our involvement round. So we explain not just what we do as a sorority with our philanthropy and things, but also everything that we're involved in. For instance, I would say things like I'm in News Inc. Indiana and stuff like that. Round 3 is the philanthropy round, and what we talk about in that is, of course, overall our philanthropy, what we do, who we work with, how we raise money, our events that we do for them and things like that. And the last round is preference rounds, where you go to your top 2 chapters and talk to them about, really deep things that make you who you are, things like that. So this year, the way that things are going to be a little bit different is welcome round is, of course, not going to be in person. This year, each sorority is going to film a video about them that we will send out to the PNMs or potential new members. Those are the girls going through recruitment. We will send it out to you guys going through recruitment. You get to watch it, and you will actually record a video and send it in to us about who you are, what you want us to know about you straight out the get-go, and things like that. Rounds 2 and 3, which is involvement in philanthropy, will be over Zoom or WebEx, some sort of meeting site like that. So it'll almost operate like it's in person. It's just, we're talking still, but it's just through a camera and computer instead of, face-to-face. And then round 4, as of right now, is set to be in person, with safety precautions. So wearing masks, we'll have hand sanitizer, I'm sure, probably keep safe distances. So now that we have the basic structure of what our rounds are, the way that sorority recruitment works is, as I was saying, you have those 4 different rounds, and potential new members or PNMs will get placed into these groups with someone that is a recruitment counselor. And the recruitment counselor is someone who is in a sorority and they disaffiliate from their sorority, which means they don't interact with sorority sisters. They don't, hang out with them in any way whatsoever during this time, because the whole reason they disaffiliate is so the PNMs that are in the group that they're leading don't know which sorority that they're in, because we don't want the sorority that the recruitment counselor is in to influence what sorority the people in their group pick, if that makes sense. You will get assigned a recruitment counselor or a few for your group, and then there'll be obviously a certain amount of girls per group. You will probably have a meeting with them over Zoom, I would guess, to meet with your counselors, ask popular questions and things like that before we go into recruitment. While you're going through the recruitment round, there's a mutual elimination process. So for my school in particular, we have 11 sororities, Panhellenic sororities. I think you only rank 10. One of the ones that are technically a Panhellenic sorority that we have is called Gamma Rho Lambda. They are our LGBTQ sorority, but you don't rank them when you do your rankings at the end, because they have a different recruitment season than we do. So at the end of your first round, you PNMs get to rank, and this is anywhere, you will rank your sororities by priority. So for us, we have 10. I think we take off 2 or 3 after the first round. So what you will do is you'll have the 10 sororities that you went to choose from, and you will rank the top 7, they'll all be ranked #1 first priority. You want to go back to them. And then you'll have your bottom 3, and you actually rank those in priority of, which is like 2, since all the, you know, 7 you want to go back to are ranked #1, the 8th choice will be ranked #2, as in like if you don't get invited back to one of your top 7 sororities, you'd rather go to that one than the other ones that you want to eliminate. After each round, you will actually do that to get to your top 2 choices for prep day. The way that sororities, girls in sororities, and the way that they choose who they want to invite back from the PNMs, we, you know, will, for example, this year watch all the videos, and we will be like, oh, I like her, I want to invite her back. Oh, usually be like, oh, I didn't have a great conversation with her, so I don't want to invite her back. Typically there's no judgment, like really think like, oh, like she wasn't pretty enough to be in our sorority. Like that doesn't really happen. It's usually a, I don't necessarily know if she's a best fit for Alpha Chi Omega, but maybe she's a better fit for Alpha Phi, or maybe she's a better fit for Kappa Delta, or something like that. Sometimes it's not even like, it's literally not even hard feelings. It's just, I think she's a better fit for a different sorority than mine. But it is a mutual elimination process. If you might want to come back to AKO, but maybe AKO doesn't necessarily want to invite you back for whatever reason, AKO, you ranked it in your top 7 after the first round, AKO would come out of your top 7, and your #2 choice would move up into your top 7. You would be invited back to them if they wanted to invite you back. I hope I explained that as good as I can on generally like how the whole process works. But now I'm going to move on to actual like tip things that I think you guys can use during recruitment to, you know, strengthen your chances of getting invited back to the places that you want to get invited back to. The first sort of thing I want to talk about is tips for conversation. I feel like a lot of people will really stress out about what they're supposed to talk about during recruitment and things like that, and you don't need to stress out about it, because generally, like, if you're in a chapter that's right for you, you're not, it's the conversation's just gonna flow. So we have these things that we're not supposed to talk about. They're called the 5 B's. They are boys, booze, Bible, bucks, and bush. Basically, what that means is you shouldn't generally address anything that is in those 5 topics. So generally, you know, booze. Sororities are typically seen as very like classy places. We want to portray that image. We have an image to upkeep. So you shouldn't walk into recruitment and be like, yeah, I got so drunk at this party last night, because we don't want that. You know, we don't want that in your sorority. And like, as much as, you know, Greek life is great because it's a great way to have like a nice social life, you don't want that to be like your only personality trait and the only thing that like people know you for. So just generally don't talk about how you're kind of an alcoholic. Just avoid that conversation. Bush is basically just don't talk about politics. Bucks is don't talk about money. You know, you might have a pretty well-off family, but not everyone does. So don't rub it into people's faces. Don't talk about it a lot. Don't make it your only personality trait that your family has money. Just avoid talking about money in general. I get it a little bit if you're concerned about like how you're gonna pay for sorority dues, but if you get into a sorority, like I'm pretty sure every single sorority has some sort of way they can help you pay for the dues. So just don't overly stress out about it until you're in there, and they will help you figure it out. No one's gonna let you not be in a sorority because you can't pay for it. Now the ones that are slightly different this year are boys and Bible. Boys is typically don't talk about like, oh, I went and hooked up with Chad last night, or like random like hookups and stuff like that that you do. Like, don't talk about that. Talk about it in good taste. Like if you have a boyfriend and you guys have been together for 4 years and you know he's a really big influence on your life, that's totally fine to talk about it in good taste. Same thing with Bible. If your religion is a really big thing about who you are, cool. Like it's totally fine to bring up like, say like you're Christian, you're like, yeah, Christianity like saved my life or stuff like that. Totally fine to talk about. Don't be a Bible pusher, because like not everyone is going to believe the same thing. Like some people are going to be atheists, some people are going to be, you know, Jewish or Muslim or different religions in here. So don't be like a pusher of your religion or whatever you like believe in. But it's okay if it like, to talk about it a little bit, if it like shapes who you are pretty significantly. Another thing to try to avoid talking about is, of course, COVID. I know it's like a huge thing going on right now, and it's obviously like impacting recruitment, but recruitment's typically, we try to like talk about positive things that we're looking forward to, things, you know, that we do that help the community. We don't want to talk about things that make us sad. That being said, it's sort of the same thing as like Boys and Bible. You can talk about it in good taste, but if you're like, yeah, in quarantine I found out something about myself that I never really noticed before because I had so much time to self-reflect, that's fine to talk about. If you like, I don't know, started your like a business or something throughout the course of COVID, be like, yeah, like COVID allowed me to have time to start my at-home Etsy shop or whatever. That's fine to talk about. That's awesome to talk about, actually, but just don't make it like a sad thing. Like if you're gonna talk about it, make sure there's some sort of like uplifting thing or a way that it has shaped you that's important to talk about, and not just the fact that it was like not a fun time in your life. Definitely something that people need to think about is talk about things that make you unique. For example, you know, the first round is welcome rounds. It's very general, but you can still talk about things that make you different than other people. Like I talked about how I'm a double major, double minor. That's a very general thing to know about me, but not everyone is that. So it's something to remember me by, and it's something that people can be like, oh, so she really like values her academics and stuff like that. It makes me stand out a little bit. Please just talk about what made you who you are. Talk about, you know, really deep things that have happened in your life that, you know, might make you sad. Don't be afraid to talk about those things that make you unique. That's actually what we're looking for a lot of the times in people. And I know I just went on a whole tangent about like talking about things that make you unique, but you don't have to reveal everything about yourself. Like you are totally allowed to hold back a little bit, you know, but if you are in the right chapter, you shouldn't feel like you can't talk about who you really are and like talk about yourself. Like you should feel comfortable to, even if you're like, even if you don't necessarily want to, but you should feel like you have the ability to, and not like they're gonna judge you for it. So keep that in mind when you're trying to like figure out what's the right chapter for you. Those are some of my biggest tips for like conversation and things to talk about to make yourself stand out. So obviously, sororities, you know, the girls on the inside have a very specific dress code that they have to wear. P&M's guidelines are a little bit more loose than that. They give you something very like general. Like for welcome rounds last year, for us it was kind of casual, like still be cute obviously, but like you can dress more casual, you can wear jeans, just wear a cute t-shirt. Like those are like generally the guidelines that they give P&M's, is casual, preppy casual, business casual, and then like cocktail dresses. So you do have to follow that, but it's pretty loose. Like you don't have to wear a specific color. You don't have to wear, you know, a specific length or anything like that. What I advise is wear something that'll set you out from the other girls. Let me show you an example of things that girls usually wear. These sandals, bitches. I think 99.9% of the girls I saw going through recruitment last year wore those Steve Madden lifted sandals, and like, don't get me wrong, they're cute. They're not gonna set you apart from people, and that's the biggest tip I have, is wear something that's gonna set you apart, because, you know, ultimately, we're gonna talk to a lot of people. We're gonna watch a lot of videos, meet a lot of girls. Chances are we're probably not gonna remember your name. A lot of girls refer to who they're trying to talk about by what they were wearing. Like, oh, I talked to the girl in that really cute yellow flowery top. She was the only one wearing something like that today. Tip, preference rounds, a lot of girls wear black dresses or white dresses. Don't do that. Wear a colored dress, because then I'll be like, oh yeah, the girl in the red dress, loved her, bring her back. That we're gonna remember you by your clothing, so wear something that's gonna set you apart. Another thing too is, yes, there's no like really specific requirement saying your dress has to be a certain length or whatever, but going back to that whole image thing that sororities are trying to keep, don't have your titties all out. Like if you walk in and your girls are just like spilling over your bra, like, sister, that's not a good image, not a good look for you. Girls aren't gonna want to invite you back to their sorority, chances are, because, you know, it's not the sorority image per se. Last but not least, some very general things about recruitment that we need to talk about. So like I talked about earlier, you're gonna get a recruitment counselor who like runs your group. Don't be afraid to talk to them. I feel like so many girls didn't talk to their recruitment counselors. And I talk to mine all the time. She helped me so much. Utilize them. They're there for you. Like, they're literally put in place to help you figure out what's best for you. So please talk to them. Next is, of course, just be yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but because, you know, you don't want to feel like, if you feel like you're weird, you don't want other people to think you're weird and stuff like that. But like, being weird is okay, and just be yourself, because if you're trying to fake something, it's really easy to tell. If we have a feeling that you're faking who you are, that's a really good way for you to not get yourself invited back next round. Last but not least is, of course, just don't be scared. I know that is way easier said than done, because it is a very nerving process, but you know, you're gonna get a little bit scared, you're gonna have some butterflies in your stomach, but I just want you to know, like, we are just as scared as you, because, like, for instance, me, I'm looking for my future littles next year, and I'm scared that maybe I won't find someone who likes me as much as I might like them, or stuff like that. You know, we're all terrified. This is also my first year going through, so I'm terrified that I'm gonna mess up the process somehow. So just remember that. It's almost like a think of everyone in their underwear sort of situation. Just remember, we're all scared, including the girls on the inside. And also remember that there is a chapter for everyone, and you will find it. But with that being said, if you are going through recruitment and you do not feel like you're vibing with any of the chapters there, it is okay to drop. That is totally okay, because just going through the process in general, you're gonna meet and stay in contact with a lot of people, even if you decide to drop recruitment. And that's okay. Greek life is not necessarily for everyone. If you don't feel like you're, you know, vibing with the chapters, you are not obligated to stay within the process. Know that no one's judging you for it, and the people who are judging you for it, I mean, it's kind of lame, because like, they should really just be worrying about themselves. Like, if they're worrying about you, that their own life clearly wasn't that interesting in the first place. So, alright guys, so that is it for this week's video. I know it was, you know, another sit down talk video. I'm trying to record a little bit more like vloggy content, or like relatable content, but I know for me, like, this was a big thing that changed like my life and made me a lot more confident. So I wanted to give girls who are looking to go through that opportunity, you know, advice on how to find it for themselves. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure you're to drop a like. If you are going through recruitment, tell me in the comments down below what university you're going into, or what university you're already at, you know, and you know what you're most excited for about the whole recruitment process. I do respond to every single comment. I will eventually talk to you about it. So please leave me a comment down below. If you did like me and, you know, want to see more of my sorority journey and back to school videos, of course, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am posting on Wednesdays at noon, and I post Sundays at noon as well until the end of August. And I will also be doing a lot of sorority videos once recruitment and big little reveal and things like that come around. So if you want to see that stuff, you gotta subscribe, and you can also turn on the post notifications if you want to. That is all for this week's video. I will see you guys on Sunday.